Hi there, this is Brian and welcome to my garage today. Today I'm going to be replacing the headlights on my BMW 525i. The passenger one is very clouded and looks really bad, and I was able to find a good replacement. It's a used one that I purchased on Bonanza for $150, and it's a whole lot better than what I had. So I'm going to try and do a cleaning using a procedure that I'm using from the E39 source channel, and there'll be a link in the comments, and what it involves is some sanding and some protectant and polisher for the lenses. I'm going to try and do the new one, which doesn't need too much, but I think it'll help a little bit. And then my driver's side is not as bad as my old passenger one, but it still has some coating peeling and everything. So I'm going to try and get it both cleaned up. And what I'm going to use is start with a bowl of water and some wet or dry 600 grit sandpaper, a wet or dry 1000 grit sandpaper, 1500, and finally a 2000. Now the E39 source video used sheets of sandpaper. I thought these would be a little bit easier for my hand. So I've never tried to do anything like this before, and so it just seems like it would be better. Picked up some cloths. There's a foam and some normal cloth ones. Microfiber towels. Some 91% rubbing alcohol. And the Meguiar's PlastX for the polishing. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and get the lenses pulled out, and I'll come back and show you the new one and the old one side by side as they are now, and then I'm going to turn the camera off again and do the procedure. I'm going to start with the driver's side, I think, and just to see how it goes, and I'm not going to film that because you can see that on the procedure on the E39 source channel. So then I'll come back and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, you can see the headlights are removed. Now, if you've never done this like me, there are 4 bolts that hold it in. There's one here, one here, one down there, and that one. Then you have your turn signal bulb. I think that's your high beam, low beam, or maybe I think that's the halo, your angel eye, and then the low beam. Same on this side. Got everything unplugged, and the connections are a little finicky, so just be patient and take your time and don't break anything that you're not going to be able to repair. So go over and show you what I got on the lights. Alright, here are the driver's side lights. These are all fairly new. I just replaced the low beams, the halo, and the turn signal within the past year, so they're good. And this one is the H7, so this is your low beam. That is your angel eye or halo bulb, which supplies both of the rings on each headlight. Your H8 high beam bulb and your standard amber turn signal, plus then the 4 screws that came out for each light. And then over here is the same thing. Here's the driver's side headlight assembly. You can see the damage here. This is the coating, and it may not be cleanable and repairable, but eventually I will try and get this one replaced too. Overall, the rest of it doesn't look too bad. You can definitely see the clouding and the damage on it. Another thing with these is the brackets are broken on both sides, so very tricky to put back on. And so I'm going to get this one cleaned up and see how it looks, and get started on the next one. Here is the passenger side one that I am going to replace, and this one is just so damaged. I was told it's not even really savable. Now the brackets on this one are still attached, so that's one benefit, but it's loose there. Just the whole thing is bad, and I don't think it's worth the time to try and repair it if I was able to get another one for such a reasonable price. So here is the new passenger side. You can clearly see the difference, that it looks so much better than the one I have, and it just was worth it. The brackets are in great shape, and this thing came with, this is a rubber piece that goes along the top on this side that was pretty chewed up. So I'm going to take the one off of my old passenger light, which is in great shape, and put it on here. They just clip on in different places, here and here and down here, so it's very easy. This one also came with the silver trim. This will run underneath the headlight assembly, and it's to match the body color of the car. Obviously I have no use for a silver one, so they pop off, and I'm going to replace that silver one with the black one from my old one. Now, the next step is I'm going to get them cleaned up, just general cleaning. This one I've already done. It was filthy when I got it, and it had all of the sockets, all of the bulbs, everything were still there. They just cut the wires and removed it right from the car. But I already took some time and cleaned this up as much as possible, wiped it down, and I'm still going to do the lens just to make sure it looks as good as it possibly can. Alright, here is the driver's side again with broken mounts. I'm going to take some time and just try and wipe this all down, and I'm going to try and maybe super glue the mounts back into place. We'll see if that works. So I'm going to do the passenger, or the driver's side. I'm going to do the driver's side, clean it all up. The old passenger one is going in the trash. There's really no point in saving it at this point. So that's the plan, and then I will go ahead and get started on the sanding, and there will be a link in the comments to the E39 source channel video process that I'm following for that. And but I can't film it because it takes too long and I don't have enough hands. And I will be back then, and we'll check and see how they look. All right, I'm back, and the headlights are done. It's many hours later, and it was a lot of work. And what I ended up doing was only the driver's side. I just went over the passenger side with the Meguiar's PlastX just to polish it up a little bit. But I did the whole sandpaper and PlastX on the driver's side. And when I did it, I did the driver's side first, and it still seemed a little foggy. And that could just be me or whatever. I think I'm still going to replace it at some point. The new passenger one looked so good that I didn't feel the need to sand it. So here's the passenger one, and I will try and insert here the picture of the old one and what it looked like before. Now over here, the driver's side, you can still see it's a little foggy, but it does look better. All of that peeling there in the middle is somewhat gone. You can still kind of see an outline of it, but it is a little foggy. Now, there's a possibility that moisture got inside while I was cleaning it. I was trying to be careful, but who knows on a 20-year-old car what the seals are like. So it may have gotten some moisture in it. So I'm going to turn the lights on and show you what they look like. There's the halos on the passenger side. And the halos on the driver's side. Low beams on the passenger side. And low beams on the driver's side. So they are much better. Maybe they're not perfect, but they are a whole lot better than they were, and I am happy with them. The high beams, now they do still look a little foggy, but like I said, I can live with this. I am much happier with this. I did want to say that these are the halogen lights, not the xenon or the HIDs. So when you're looking, if you're going to do something like this, make sure that you get what matches your car and what you already have. This is a 2003, so it's after the facelift, and it does have the halos. But prior to 2001, these cars did not have the halos, and the wiring was slightly different. So it's just something to keep in mind. This new headlight came from a 2003 525i, just like this one, except it was silver. The part numbers match, everything matches, so it was a perfect fit. But it's very hard to tell, and you really need to look at the descriptions of what you're buying. Now, as far as cost, the headlight itself was used in $150 on Bonanza. That included shipping, and I spent about $60 on sandpaper and PlastX, and there was a towel and things in there too, so about 60 bucks. And when I had my other car's headlights refurbished, it cost me $60 somewhere, and they did an okay job. It was not as good as new, but it was better than what those look like, because those were completely fogged up on a 10-year-old Kia Sorento. So if you want to try something like this, follow the advice and the links that you can find on YouTube. There's lots of great people out there doing these things, and just take some time, and good luck, and thanks for watching. Something else that I wanted to point out, if you have a 2001 to 2003 5 Series, this is what your halo bulb looks like. And they're about $60 where I got it for the pair. And so one bulb on each side controls the rings on both sides. So when these bulbs burn out, and this took me a long time to figure out, the air that you get on your dash is side lights. So I guess the wiring for these is attached to the side markers on the front fenders. So if you get that and your lights on the side are working, double check your halos, because that will resolve it. So, and there are LED versions, and I may replace all of mine with LED bulbs at some point, but for now I'm happy with what I have. And the classic yellow works well for a car that's 20 years old. So thanks again. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and I will be back again with more videos from my room.